In northern Botswana, on the edge of the Okavango Delta, 3 lion cubs wandered along a dusty track under the scorching sun. The cubs' fur was covered in dust, their breathing was labored, and their bellies were noticeably sunken. They would sit down on the scorching ground, closing their eyes from the light, then get up again and continue walking, leaving uneven tracks in the sand. There was no water nearby, and each step became more difficult. Their paws trembled, their movements became cautious and economical. The lion cubs stayed together, meowing plaintively at times and huddling together, as if gathering their remaining strength. They tried to hide in the sparse patches of tall grass along the roadside, but the heat overwhelmed them there too. The day dragged on slowly. The light was harsh and white, the air shimmered with heat, and the road ahead seemed endless. Only at the end of the scorching hour, when the lion cubs stopped again to catch their breath, were they spotted from afar by farmers driving along the same country road. They slowed down and watched, but did not take any action yet. During the day, the farmers cautiously approached the lion cubs. Their sheepdog, which usually patrolled the fenced area, immediately noticed the cubs. At first, she kept her distance, carefully studying the 3 little lion cubs. But when one of the cubs stumbled slightly and meowed, the sheepdog came closer, sniffed cautiously, and gently touched them with her nose. The lions immediately stopped fidgeting anxiously and huddled close to the dog. The farmers watched as the sheepdog gradually drew the cubs closer to her, as if hugging them with her paws and body. She did not leave them for a moment, gently nudging them towards the water that the people had brought. The cubs began to drink and calmed down a little. The sun was beating down brightly during the day, and every step on the scorching ground was difficult. But thanks to the sheepdog's attention, the lion cubs felt safer and began to show curiosity. They cautiously sniffed her fur, explored their surroundings, and tried to imitate the games they saw other animals playing on the farm. The farmers realized that they had a chance to save these little ones and give them at least some protection until they were ready for the wild. The farmers cautiously approached the lion cubs. They gently picked up each cub, trying not to scare the little ones. The sheepdog walked alongside, carefully making sure that none of the lion cubs fell behind or got scared. From time to time, she gently turned her head toward the cubs, nudging them with her body to show them that it was safe to stay close. On the way home, the cubs meowed quietly, but gradually got used to the warmth of human hands and the presence of the sheepdog. The farmers carried them along the dusty road, slightly shaded by the sparse trees of the savanna, taking each step carefully. The cubs were too weak to manage on their own. In the barn, they laid the cubs on thick blankets in a specially prepared corner where they could be watched and protected from the heat. The sun was shining brightly during the day, but the shelter was designed so that they could rest and regain their strength. The lion cubs cautiously explored their new surroundings, sniffing the air and touching the blankets with their paws, while the sheepdog lay patiently nearby, protecting each of them. The farmers brought water and a little milk to help the lion cubs regain their strength. With each passing hour, the cubs became more active. They began to move their paws cautiously, explore the corner, listen to the sheepdog, and calm down in her presence. This day was the first time they felt real protection after several exhausting days in the hot sun of the savanna. The lions gradually grew up under the watchful eye of the sheepdog. With each passing month, they became stronger and more confident. They walked confidently around the barn, explored every corner, played with each other, chased small objects, and learned hunting movements by imitating what they saw in adult animals. The sheepdog patiently watched them, gently nudging them toward new play areas, showing them where it was safe and where they should be careful, and teaching them discipline through gentle nudges and attention to their behavior. Sometimes the puppies bumped into each other or stumbled, but the sheepdog calmly corrected their movements, reminding them of boundaries and safety. They explored the barn, sniffed the fresh grass from the farm, played with small objects, cautiously tasted the water from the bowls in which they had recently drunk milk, and learned to interact with each other in friendly play. Several months passed, and the lion cubs grew into huge, strong, and graceful lions. Their fur became thick and shiny, their muscles grew stronger, Their movements became confident and almost wild, and their eyes became attentive and alert, like those of real predators. The sheepdog continued to stay close by, watching them, gently correcting their behavior and showing them how to interact with their environment. The farmers watched with admiration as the cubs quickly turned into real adult lions, capable of independence. Every day was filled with energy, games, and the first signs of real wild power under the protection of a devoted dog, who became a true mentor and protector for them. The lions had grown so large that their powerful paws and broad shoulders no longer fit in the cramped barn. Every morning, the farmers noticed that the doors were warped from the blows of their tails, and the floor creaked under the weight of the grown predators. It became clear that they could no longer be kept on the farm. These were no longer little kittens, but true kings of the savanna. After a long discussion, the farming family contacted zoologists from the capital's wildlife center. A few days later, specialists arrived at the farm with a truck, portable cages, and equipment for safe transportation. They carefully examined the lions, checking their teeth, fur, and health, and marveling at how beautiful the animals looked. The sheepdog stayed close to her charges the whole time, as if sensing the changes. When the lions noticed the new people, they became wary, but quickly calmed down. The farmers they trusted were nearby. The moment of farewell arrived. The farmers stroked the lions' manes and spoke quietly to them. And despite their enormous size, the lions still behaved like kittens, rubbing affectionately against their hands, as if begging them to stay. The zoologists carefully loaded the animals into spacious cages. It was not easy for the farmers. They were saying goodbye to those they had raised from an early age. But the decision was the right one. At the zoo, the lions would have space, the right diet, and the care of specialists. The truck slowly drove away, taking the regal pupils to their new life, while the sheepdog sat at the farm gate and watched them go for a long time. Several months passed. The lions got used to their new life in the spacious zoo. Every day they received fresh food, veterinarians monitored their health, and visitors stood in awe, watching the three mighty predators that had grown up among humans. But the lions did not forget those who had once saved them from hunger and loneliness. One sunny day, the farmers decided to visit their charges. An old sheepdog, the very one who had been their foster mother, went with them to the city. When they approached the enclosure, the lions instantly raised their heads. Their reaction was surprising. Instead of a wary roar, there was joyful tail wagging and low purring reminiscent of rolling thunder. The farmers talked to the lions, petting them through the bars, remembering how small they were when they first came to the farm. It was a meeting full of warmth and gratitude. A moment when people, animals, and even strict zoologists felt that the bond formed in the savanna could not be broken by time or distance. Thank you for watching until the end. Please like and subscribe to our channel to support us. See you next time.